guy called Robert Adams, who you
Yeah,
might
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
he said, "If you weep with the world, there will be no end to the weeping."
Yeah,
I just found that so helpful,
beautiful.
and I wonder if you could elaborate that a little bit.
What? Well,
This,
you in other words, you have to stand outside of,
yeah,
so to speak, the relative experience.
yeah,
You have, if you stand as awakeness, then what's happening is just what's happening. And it's, you can see where the judgment would be good, bad, awful, wonderful, all this and that and the other. But all of that's Fred's world.
yes,
Yeah, it's not mine. My world is always clear and quiet. And uh, to say it's available is not even right, because it's always here. It's always on. It's like if I went from here and this, it's not like flicking this on. It's like me saying, now let me flick on the light. Right? Let me get the light on, and it's already on. Yeah. It's always shining. And if we can come from that's always not what we're speaking of, but where we're speaking from. And if we can speak from awakeness, you just, I mean, you stand as awakeness. What that means is that you are literally, and if you have to, it doesn't matter if you pretend in the beginning. So if I pretend that I'm awakeness, what I'm going to notice is that, oh, I'm not pretending. I am awakeness. There's so establishing yourself as that, it doesn't have to be anything in particular, that which is beyond relativity, that which is, I hesitate to say the creator, but I don't mind saying the projector, um, of this, of this. And there's nothing sad here because I'm just not in it. I mean, it's like going to see a movie.
mm,
And if you go see the movie and it doesn't alter your experience as you're there in the theater, then it's a lousy movie. And sometimes it can be so bad we want our money back, right?
right.
And um, this can be lousy too. We can want our money back from this, for sure. God Almighty. And if we can just recognize that it's, I'm not the victim of this, I'm not even in this, nor am I of this. I'll go that step further. Christ is quoted as saying in something to the effect that I am, what do you say? I'm this. I mean, something along those lines. There was a mix-up where he said, you're not.
Not in the world, but of.
You're of the world. Thank
But
you.
of.
That's exactly right. So, and that's not really true. We're not even of this. There's interest here. There's fascination. There is a bit of a up and down, or maybe more than a bit of an up and down sense of up and down experience. But it's but the world is in you. And only when we can make that reverse and recognize that the world is in me. When I first woke up, and I was paying back some karma, and was having to go to jail on the weekends. And that was a little bit backwards thing too, because I used to tell Betsy, I was so busy outside because I had a business I'm trying to run, and a book business I was trying to run. I was all this and that, and I think I was, and I was doing this. I wasn't doing it like this, but I was I was involved in. I was writing non-duality, and if nothing else. And every week it would be like I'd just be so pent up, and it'd be like, I'll be all right if I can just get to jail. And Betsy and I used to laugh over this, right? Because it was the truth. That's the way, and that was my actual experience. I'd walk in that jail and be like such a sigh of relief, because I was giving up the idea that I was in control of my world. Because you walk in there, you're not in control of your world. And you're not before you walk in there too, but you think you are. So you think you're giving up your freedom if you go to jail, but you're not. You don't have it to give up to give up. But that experience was of a different here. So different from this world. I mean, so you go in there for a long time, it's different. But I was just going in for the weekends, like a camper, and so and I would come and go, and it was such an incredible juxtaposition. And when I would come out of there, it would feel to me, okay, it would feel to me like awakeness was right here. I had just woken up, just like about six weeks before, a month before, and it felt like that I was in. Felt like awakeness was just outside the room, if you will, and only with the seeing that, oh, it's not outside the room, because there isn't an outside to this room, right? There's no outside of this room. There's no middle of this room. There's no over in the far corner of this room. These things they just don't apply here. And when I quit trying to get the absolute experience to work the way that I think it should, when it's because you just place the absolute inside the relative. I mean, it just makes no sense. But that's, you now know, oh, I'm awake, but I'm in a little room, and I'm surrounded by a universe, and all of this, because there's still a sense of individuality. There's still a sense of place. And there is now, except for it's not believed, of course, but there's still an everyday experience of getting up and brushing teeth. It doesn't feel like I have to go to the moon to do that. So just keeping in mind, I woke up somebody for Friday, I think, and he asked me, the usual, so how do I keep this? And my answer is always, who wants to know? And but you can't leave it there, because it doesn't hit them very well. It doesn't hit them very deeply. But showing that recognition it's not a matter of anything you have to do. It's just recognition has to take place. And in the presence of recognition, all is known and all is well. And in the presence of with the sense of confusion here, with an apparent experience of confusion, it's, oh man, you remember how it used to be? Some of you may still be in, probably not. I don't know if there's anybody here that's in the full grasp of and still working within the grip of relativity. But if there is, God Almighty, please listen to us here and now, because your freedom is right here. It's not later. That's what we always thought. I'm going to wake up soon. I'm going to wake up and find out the truth. But you are the truth. You cannot wake up and find the truth when you are the truth to begin with. You just have to recognize that there is no other. There's no other. There's no over there. It's just, there's no over there. There's no other. There's just this here now. And what recognizes this here now is not of this world. Just not, it's untouchable. Can't get anywhere near it with words or sound. You just can't do it. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah.